into it, even if you are doing everything right by medical medium? Would you let me know in the comments? Would you walk into a room where someone had sprayed arsenic or someone had sprayed DDT? Would you walk into that room? You wouldn't walk into that room because you know you could be poisoned. And it's the same thing by participating on this day. You are allowing yourself to be poisoned. So Ali Rides the Wave says, I showed my children a child-friendly version of a short documentary about the dark history of Halloween. They then decided they were happy not to participate. Knowledge is power. Yes, it's true. There's documentaries, and there's even a book that I bought for my daughters. And it's a book based on Christianity because I couldn't find anything that was based on any other faith. So I bought it and we read it and we understood it. And basically, you know, I explained it from the perspective that we have. And basically they got it. They just understood it. Children understand more than you can imagine. Children understand a lot, right? Gabrielle says, yeah, the pumpkin, why so annoying? Pumpkins are beautiful. It's true. Debbie says, I'm moving out Saturday, but my partner has some whole pumpkins on the front porch. Does this mean I'm participating? If you're moving out, then no, just move out and be done with it. So yes, blessed be the light. Bring it. I love that. But Brain Saver says that nothing happens here. Nothing that happens here will harm our soul. True, it may not harm, but you are participating. So it may not harm, but there's a permission for demons and evil spirits and lost spirits. And even if they're not evil, just lost spirits, like they're draining your energy, right? Miriam says, did your husband agree with you? Did you have to convince him? My husband's really not into it anyway, because it's not a holiday we grew up with. So we're not really attached to this holiday. We only kind of became attached to it through school and friends and what have you. So Lissy says, I watched Sabrina on Netflix a few years ago and 100% sure my apartment was attacked by demons and that show was so evil. It's true. It's true. I mean, when you watch a movie like that, you kind of inviting it in, you know? Shannon says, does saging actually work with help in removal of bad energy spirits? No, I'm going to tell you something interesting, though. Really interesting. So sage is an ingredient used in the negative energy exposure shot. What I think you should do on Halloween is drink negative energy exposure shots all day, all evening, and go to bed with a shot. Because then you're just like, and the prayers. You do the negative energy shot. And so I think the medical medium shared with us, like, you know, when you put the light, when you smoke anything, it's a liver antagonizer. Basically, it's not good for your liver. It's still toxic. So anything burned is not going to have as much power as something that's fresh and used in a fresh way. And then he tells you to juice sage in the negative energy exposure shot. How cool is that? Not only that, it's also got garlic in it. Look at the two things that actually are known to ward off spirits and evil, but they're in the drink. That tells you something, doesn't it? Right? Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So you guys are liking that idea? Yeah. It's like you gotta go to the brain shots. It's like there's gotta be a shot for that. I think that I think that it's really powerful to think, oh, there's got to be a shot for that. I always think, where's the shot? These days, that's all that's on my mind. I'm obsessed with where's the shot for that. And my daughter was like, I think you need an obsessive thought shifter, Mom, because you're really obsessed with the brain shots. Like, I'll take that. I'll take that. I had a nightmare where this little girl was trying to possess me. I could feel her energy taking over mine until I yelled, no, I don't allow you to take control over me. And she stopped and I woke up. Totally happens. Len says it's been very dark lately, so would want to be out these days. Yeah. LB Flower Power. This is so important. Listen to what she just said. Darkness, get thee behind me. It is written and our birthright to command it to leave. You must know this. You must know what power you have, right? You must know what power you have.
Ali Rides Away says the documentary we watched also said the pumpkins represent skulls they used to hang on the streets after demonic sacrifices, a symbolism of celebrating death. So a perfectly holy food, which is a pumpkin, which is basically a holy food, right? It's one of the holy four foods. It's of the holy four food groups, has been twisted, darkened, turned upside down, and turned into an evil symbol, right? Don't want to participate in that. So you might want to have good quality pumpkin soup made with a clean, fat-free recipe, and that would be okay. But don't be putting them out, carving them out, and doing that whole thing, because then you participate. Gabrielle says, so if we can use our free will to demand anything evil, that anything that evil can't energetically feed on us, how come it doesn't work on the 31st? Because it's a satanic holiday. And it is designed to, the veil is thin. The thing is, it's the same, Gabrielle, it's the same as saying, you can command all you want not to go into that room full of arsenic or DDT and say, I command that it will not affect me, but it will. If you walk into something you know is dark and poisonous. On any other day or other days of the year, it's fine. You can command away and do all of that, but it is the whole world is participating in some way, shape, or form. There's millions of people participating. You can say no to one thing, but if you, the problem, the thing you need to understand, Gabrielle, is that by participating, you give permission. Once you give permission, all bets are off. You can't ward them away with a declaration. Once you give permission to and you're participating. You can only do that if you don't participate. Okay? Okay. Triple E left. Best to stay home on the day itself? Sure. Yes. Natalia, how do you cleanse your space? So I've been doing what Anthony does, which is I boil the skin of lemons. Like when we do lemon water and stuff, we'll take those skins, we put them in a pot of water, we boil them, and the smell of beautiful lemon is all over the house. Or like rosemary all over the house. Like it just clears the space. It's amazing. You should try it. Leanne says, I feel like a crazy mama sometimes trying to protect against it all. Fragrances in classroom. I had to speak up to the teacher the other day. We know the truth, but they must think we're nuts. I swear it's true. Healing Steffi said there are many similarities from darkness and light. Darkness is very sneaky in that way. Natalia says, I got a headache from just thinking of all this Halloween stuff. Yeah, so go drink some negative energy shots and just stop thinking of this darkness and stuff. Totally. The candle in the pumpkin is representing the fat that used to be burned, and I'll say no more. Yeah, I didn't say it, Sajin, for that reason as well. Also, how have they shifted Christmas away from the birth of Jesus to more about Disney characters and gifts? You cannot buy a nativity scene anymore. Yep, there's so much perversion of what is God, what is light, because they are so into doing that. So into doing that. You can sage your house if you want, but like the smoke is always an antagonizer. It's not the best way. Bertie says, I have a whole pumpkin on the front of my house, but not decoration, but I'll remove it. It's just, you know, you don't want to give them an inch of getting near you. If you participate, you're calling in darkness and it will come. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Ziona Rowan says, I shared my story on my personal Facebook, but it set off my adrenals. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. So yeah, you know, I promised that I would share about this crazy ass holiday. And I don't even want to call it a holiday, because actually a holiday means holy day. And to me, this ain't holy. This is like anything but holy. Twinkle Fever says, what about birthdays on the 31st? Should we not celebrate? I think that one's just tricky. You know, it's tricky. If it was my birthday, I wouldn't. I would wait. I'd be like, I'm not doing shit on this day. Let's just wait. Let's just do it another day. And so I'm going to give you a reference. So don't ask me to repeat it, guys, please. ncjrs.gov. ncjrs.gov. It has a document in it called Satanic Cult Awareness. And you can look that document up, and it has all of the descriptions about this, their declaration about their day. So yeah. And actually it's also called, and it's also known as the first highest satanic holiday. First highest, meaning it is their most, like, biggest day. So Diana Rowan says, Samhain is Celtic New Year. It's the New Year's Eve in ancient Scotland. It's a shame it's been twisted this way, but the thing is, it's always been this way. Darkness has been around for a long time, guys. You just becoming aware of it now. But they've been doing this for a long time, like for thousands of years. Thousands of years in different, they just call it something else each time. They call it something else. In each culture, it's something different. But behind the scenes, they're doing it. They're doing it. So on CBN News, there's a headline that said they were releasing spells over the viewers on TV. An ex-witch warns witchcraft is now everywhere, from Hollywood to church. So you just have to remember that witchcraft has been, they're pushing witchcraft in like everywhere. They're pushing it in schools, and it's subtle. Pushing it in schools, pushing it in the culture, pushing it in churches, pushing it everywhere. So, you know, you have to be careful with it. You got to be careful with it. And then I would say, like, I think that we all have a really natural inclination to be connected to something supernatural. And I think that one of the reasons why this day becomes so popular is because people really want to have this connection to something supernatural, right? But also connecting to God and the angels is also a connection to the supernatural. So we need to keep our children's and our focus on the truth. So weren't the witches that were burned just intuitive? Yes, they were intuitive, and that's different. The people who were burned, that was a practice of sacrifice. They were sacrificing women who were good women of the light. You have to know that a lot of witchcraft is practiced by really dark, the practice comes from really dark, evil places. Is it possible to post it on my website? Oh my God. I will do my best to save the live. Not every live gets saved, but we do our best. So, like, for example, anyone ever played with a Ouija board? Anyone ever played with a Ouija board? It's an invitation to just connect with the spirit world, and you don't know what you're going to get. And again, it can be potentially really dark. I must have been 18, and I was at a friend's house in Oman, and she's like, it's like midnight, we're supposed to be asleep, And she, pulls up under her bed. She had a Ouija board and she pulled it out. She goes, "You want to play?" And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I've heard of these things. I've heard of these things. And oh my God. And so she started to play with it. I didn't want to say anything because I was like, I didn't want to be uncool. So I was like watching her do it, and I felt something. I felt something. And in that moment, I don't know what made me do it. I said God's name out loud. Like, because when I was, this is the how my parents raised me, is like, if anything feels dark or negative, you call God's name. So I knew that intuitively. And so I basically said a prayer out loud, and I could feel it go away. I'm like, "You put that stuff away because I'm leaving. I'm going to wake up your mom. You got to put it away," because I could feel how dark it was. And so I am telling you, I've never, ever, I mean, anyone brings it up, I'm like, "Oh, I'm out of here if you're doing that. I'm not interested at all. I'm not interested at all." So, yeah. You burned it in a fire, Claudia? Yeah, that is the only place it needs to go, is in the fire. Wendy says there's a difference between paganism and Satanism. I can't live with this level of fear. Sounds like QAnon. No, I'm not talking about any of that. Like, I'm not coming from that perspective. I'm only talking about Satanism. I'm not talking about paganism. I'm talking about Satanism. It's very, very specific. And if you have that belief, all power to you. I am talking about a specific religion that is satanic. Right? And that's important to know. It's important to know the difference, because it is truly, truly evil. The problem is, like, when you call in the spirit world, you just don't know what you're connecting to. How can you not know what you're connected to? Most of us don't know. That's the truth, right? I mean, tell me that you know 100% what you're connected to. So Wendy says, "I'm not a pagan." Okay, I respect whatever you are. Like, I just don't. The thing is, satanic people who have satanic worship are actually just worshiping the devil. That to me is just, I can't deal with that. But there's a lot of these darkness and these pieces of Satanism that is it's everywhere. It's around us. It's in the media. It's in even like Disney. It's in all of these places. So it's different. Look, Andy says, "What if you connect to loved one?" I connect to my grandmother all the time. My grandmother is always around me. And if I think of her or I say her name out loud, she kind of shows up. And my husband lost his mom a few years ago, and she is around him, and I can feel it. He sometimes doesn't feel it, but I can usually feel it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You can pray for your loved ones. You can, like, I've had messages from my grandmother after she died, like really strong ones. She came in my dreams. I have one of my intuitive gifts is, that I can dream. I see things in my dreams. I have intuitive dreams. I have dreams that come true. So I saw her a lot in my dreams. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, to connect with a loved one who's passed on and what have you. So, yeah, you just don't want to engage. I mean, number 144 is here again. It just keeps cropping up. This is like the 10th time I've seen it. And I just want to say, I know there are angels here. I know there's God here. And I just want to thank the angels, and I want to thank God for providing us a space where we can actually talk about this, and keep us in the light. Because the fact that we keep seeing this number 144 showing up over and over again tells me that, I'm so grateful to that. I'm so grateful to that. I would say that it's a really important thing for all of us to be aware of. Just pay attention to it, guys. I want all of you, I'm telling you again, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Just go and do your own research. The thing that I am against is darkness. Nothing else. I am against darkness. And I'm sure pretty much all of you are as well. All of you here are against darkness. Darkness is here to hurt us. He says very clearly in the Brain Book that the industry, the private classified medical industry that's trying to hurt you has no soul.
They have no soul. They don't care about us. They have no mercy for us. They don't feel any compassion. They are not like us, but at all, right? So it's so important to know this. It's so important to know that they don't have a soul. So I am against anything that is connected to that darkness. Anything. Lala says, where should I first start to research more about this? Look up what it says about Luciferianism, Satanism. Look it up. Look it up. Pray before you look it up, because you don't want to get caught up in all that. But look it up. You know, you have to start to do your own research. I cannot answer all of these questions here because I'm not the expert. Remember, I told you I'm sharing with you my research as a mother, right? This holiday is really aimed at our children. It's really, really aimed at our children. And I am, like, anything that comes in at our kids, I'm completely, I will put the armor on and I'm ready to fight, right? So this is why I'm here. I'm sharing this with you as a mom. I'm not a practitioner. I'm not an expert in this. I'm sharing with you my own research because it was so shocking to me when I found out, and it actually really resonated with me. Like, I could feel the energies of what was happening on that day. And I thought, well, there's just a lot of people who dress in dark stuff, and maybe they're just kind of drunk, and it's just kind of weird energy. But when I learned all of this, I'm like, boom, I was right in what I was feeling. Like, I could really tell that something was up. Like, I could really tell that, that there ain't no, I'm not, like, I was so validated when I did this research, which is why I'm sharing with you, because so many of you have children, and maybe they're young and they don't listen right now, but they will get older, and you will be having more conversations with them. You need to keep sharing this information. We need to keep sharing with each other. We need to, like, even if you're like, the thing is the truth, even if nobody wants to hear it. The truth is the truth, even if nobody wants to hear it. So we're sharing the truth, you know? Maria Escobar says, my mom has been telling me about the darkness of Halloween for years. She's going to be so happy when I tell her she was right. Yeah, women know. Mothers often know, you know? They have a feeling about it. Something doesn't feel right. Sherry says, thank you so much. Please continue to be the life that you are. You're waking people up. Oh, man. Thank you. Lana says, how can we protect ourselves while we are researching about this? Pray. Call the angel of light if you believe in angels. Angel of light. Unknown angels are really beautiful for protection. They're really powerful with protection. You know, unknown angels, you know, we call on them, 144 unknown angels to protect us when we sleep at night. We declare every night before we go to bed, like, no one or anything is allowed on our property, on our land, in our home, you know, with our children, with the people who live in this home, the people who live here, our loved ones, our family members, anywhere in the world are protected with that. So it's like it's really, really important to declare that. And we do that every night, not just on October 31st, not just on that night. But like I said, the most important thing you can do is do some negative energy brain shot therapy, negative energy exposure shot. I mean, I would totally do that shot, guys, because that I'll read to you what he says in the description of this shot. He says very clearly that it is hang on. I'm going to read it out. I should have opened it up before, but I didn't. Okay. Negative energy. When you feel an unexplained sadness come over you, you experience a confrontation or misunderstanding with another person. Unexplained anger rises within you or even another person. You're having a bad day.
Things in your life seem to be going wrong, or you are feeling unlucky. You're fearing something or someone and you cannot shake it. That's the feeling I get on October 31st. Like, it feels awful and I can't shake it. You're feeling dread after a dream. You need to stay strong because you have no choice but to be around someone as a friend or a coworker whom you feel has negative energy or a consistently negative attitude. You're spending time around someone going through mental health challenges that may cause them to be angry or sad. You're around someone who is struggling to the point of being suicidal. You cannot seem to break depressing bad thoughts. Now, when he was live with this shot, he said, all those demons and all the bad energy and the spirits, and he said the word demons. He said the word demons on the live when he said what this shot works for. Did you guys catch that? Did you all catch that? Go back and listen to that live. Okay, so go back and listen to the live. If you're having trouble finding wheatgrass, buy seeds and grow it. You can find wheatgrass seeds online. Just grow it. Okay. Miriam says, I just want to take my kids away from all this, but I don't think I can because of my husband. What can I do? Negative energy exposure shots for all the kids. Negative energy exposure shots for all the kids, right? Negative energy exposure shot to all the kids if your kids cannot be taken away from this participation in this ritual. Pray to God. Miriam, are you Christian? I don't know. If you're Christian, then pray to God. Call on Jesus if you believe in Jesus. Call on the angels, right? Just do that. Keep doing that. So it's important. It's important. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things for sure. You can. Andy Plex says, is citrine good to help against negative energy? Certain crystals. I don't know. Medical mediums never talked about crystals. I mean, I have a lot of crystals in my house, but because they're like, you know, they're from the earth and they're powerful. And I love what comes from the earth. I just love it. Crystals, essential oils from plants. I mean, I don't use them in harmful ways, but I don't think that they really, I'm not sure that they can provide you protection in that way. I think that what provides you protection is God. You have to remember, what provides you protection is God, and calling on his angels whom he has gifted to us to help us. Okay? Ita says, do you feel it means something when someone dies on Halloween? No, I don't think it means anything. It's just, you know, if you're born that day or you die that day, it's just birth and death. Like, it happens whenever, you know? I think you really just need to focus on God, whatever God means to you. It doesn't have to be Jesus. It doesn't have to be, you know, Yahweh or Adonai or Allah or whatever. This, whatever you want to believe in. Stephanie Janice says, "Am I Christian?" No, I'm Muslim. But I've shared about the fact that Muslims actually believe in Jesus. They believe in Moses. They believe in Abraham. They believe in all these prophets that came before. And I know people will say, well, you know, Jesus is the Lord. And so we believe that Jesus is the Messiah. There's actually so many common beliefs. So we focus on those because there are little differences. We focus on that, but we revere Jesus in our culture, in our tradition. So, but I'm Muslim. I was raised Muslim and I am a practicing Muslim. So, are tarot cards okay? This is my personal thing, right? I don't think they are, because it's divination. It's a form of divination. And there's going to be people who say that divination's great, like women have used it throughout time and what have you. I just don't believe in that practice, and that's a personal belief. That's not something that I'm saying that you're, you know, wrong if you do it. You know, this is getting into a place of me sharing my beliefs, And I don't want to necessarily want to put my beliefs on somebody else, because with tarot, like, again, you can go research. You have to research these things, right? You have to come. I practiced tarot when I went into the new age world a lot. A few years, like I would say about 15 years ago, 20, like 10 years ago, I was into it a lot. And then I came back to what felt good to me. And I don't personally believe in it. But if somebody does, then all power to you. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm not the ultimate person to know what's right or wrong. I just know that for sure we're against darkness. That's it, right? For sure against darkness. And anything that I feel intuitively connects me to darkness. So Understood Birthkeeper says that Anthony has said that tarot cards are still like dipping into the unknown spirit world. You never know who is influencing the cards. And that's exactly what I felt. That's exactly what I felt without actually having heard that explicitly from him. So the rule that I feel is true, and also Anthony's just confirmed this, is that you don't know who you're connecting to, so be careful. Be careful. It's just a warning. You don't know who you're connected to, and you have to be careful. You have to be careful. The thing is, guys, darkness has been around on this planet since the beginning of time. They're very good at what they do. They're very good at deceiving us. They're very good at trickery. They're very good, and they'll tell us the 9 truths to make us believe one lie. So I feel like when I came into a lot of, I'm not saying that New Age is good or bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying the way I came into it didn't feel good to me. And I got into it deeply, and then I got out of it because I started to really see the things weren't adding up to me. And I started to really see, and I started to question before I accepted it. And then I just shifted. It didn't work. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to me. And I have experiences around that I'm happy to share, but it's my own personal experience, right? So Linda says, thou shalt have no other gods but be. Yeah. That's where I landed with my thoughts about that. Again, if you wish to do that, that's your call, but it's very slick at deception is correct, says Duke Cindy Allen. Palladium 7 says, I use tarot cards, but that doesn't mean that darkness is connected to it. It's just fear mongering. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, Palladium, that was my experience. And this is why I'm making a distinction between my experience and what others experience may be different than mine. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. And I'm not fear mongering. For that reason, this is why I said I'm sharing. You're asking me personal questions. Lots of people are, not you personally, but lots of people are asking me questions about my personal beliefs. And I'm sharing my personal beliefs. And if it doesn't resonate, please just ignore it. Like I had an experience and I'm sharing my experience, and it's just what happened to me. And I don't subscribe to that. So somebody asked me a direct question about it, what I think about it. So I'm sharing what I think about it. So I don't want anyone to take what I'm saying as fear mongering or I'm calling something bad. I'm all power to you if you do it. I have mad respect for you and whatever you choose to believe in. It's really important to do your research. Pray. If you want answers, pray. So if you go back to like the shots, right? If you go back to the shots, let's go back to the shots. There is a wisdom and intuition shot, which I've had 4 times this week. And I can tell you that it just has like supercharged what I can see, what I can feel, what I see, hear, what I can hear, it supercharged it. And the more that I connect, I see what I see. And if I see something as dark or I see something as light, I feel like I'm clearer today than I've ever been in the past about what I'm seeing, right? So I think that speaking your truth shot is important as well. Like if you're all struggling to figure out, like if you're struggling to figure out what you want to, or if you're struggling to figure out like what you believe in, you're questioning, please go on a journey. Like I feel it's like the most exciting thing that you can do is to go and explore for yourself where you land with these things, right? Even with the research that I shared about October 31st, I'm not saying believe me, I'm saying research it. Please research it, because you just don't know, right? You just don't know. And maybe you have a complete faith in something and you're learning, like for example, you know, we've had complete faith in the medical system. I did when I was a kid. I did. And then it got broken because I learned something that was truthful. So I believe wholeheartedly that everybody here is against darkness. You're all good people. You're all connected to the light. And so the reason I share this, because it is truly dark in its origins. I share it because there's no question of doubt with it, at least in my mind. And that's why I came on to share it. But with other things, like tarot and other things you want to look at, just do your research. Listen to your intuition. Feel into it, like really feel into what feels right to you. Don't ask somebody else. Figure it out on your own, because I figured it out on my own. And then I knew that it was my truth, right? And I knew that it was in my prayer always is, God, lead me to the light. Lead me to the light. Whatever it is in my life, lead me to the light. And if I'm not being led to the light, please tap me on the shoulder, on the head, be like, hey, you know, let me have a little inkling of knowing if it's not the light. If it's not from you, God, I don't want any part of it. That's my declaration, but that's my personal declaration. And that's what I live by. That's what I teach my children. And that's what, you know, that's what we believe in. So, you know, MD with spirit. I don't do tarot cards, but I eat taro. That is awesome. Thank you for hanging out and being here. So yeah, that's so cool. So anyway, I hope that this has been an informative live. I hope that it's given you something to think about. I hope that it's given you, you know, just thoughts and food for thought. Don't believe me. Research it. Many people actually know this already, so that was kind of cool. Many people know it already. But the evidence is out there. Go look. Go find it. It's out there always. Undisturbed Birthkeeper says, Anthony explicitly stated, when we use divination or do anything associated with that we are reaching into the spirit world and we never know what we're going to get or who we're talking to. That was my experience on my own. That was my experience on my own. So yeah, I hope this helped. I hope that you guys are not going to be like, I'm never coming on her live again. She's just all crazy. Blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to do my best to save this, and hopefully we will, hopefully it'll resonate with some of you. I just hope that you'll do more research. Do research. Find who you connect to. You know, who I think the most fascinating journey I've ever been on in my life is exploring my relationship with God. It's the most fascinating, beautiful, amazing journey I have ever been on. And it's not over. So that's what I want to share. Like, to me, that's what I came to. And I want all of you to be able to have that experience of like Just go explore your relationship with God. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do you connect? Like, I had to leave, you know, the constructs of a really strict system in order to explain or explore myself. And, you know, I've come back to it in a really beautiful way that works for me. It works for me. I feel so held by God, and I just know he's always there and he's got my back. And it's just the best feeling in the world to know that God always has my back. God always is with me. And I just pray that more people just go on a journey. Just go on a journey with it. And just be open to where it takes you. Everyone's going to go somewhere different, but it is the most amazing journey ever, is to go on a journey with God, to really know God, to get to know him in a different way, to get to know yourself and your relationship with him. Just, and if you don't subscribe to God and you subscribe to the universe or the creator or a higher power, go on a journey with that, right? Just find a way to go on a journey. It is the most exhilarating journey ever. And yeah, I just, you know, to me, we all want, like I was saying earlier, we all want like this connection to the supernatural. We have an innate desire to have a connection to the supernatural. God, there's no more supernatural than God. Like, really just connect, and it's all there for the taking. And if you are like struggling with your belief or struggling with your faith, I would say even more, just explore the journey with an open mind, because you just never know what's going to show up. You never know what could happen. You never know what can emerge from that exploration. I mean, I don't think that anything is, you know, I think you can only benefit by going on that journey. Because if you take that journey but just between you and God, just you and God, because it's so personal, right? There's nothing between you and God. It's just you and God. Lemon Bomb Love says, can you go on a journey if you aren't part of religion? I think so. Lemon Bomb, Danielle, I had to walk away from something that felt really restrictive to me to find God in the way that I love God now. Because when I really before was like, I felt let down by God. I felt that God didn't really love me. Like, maybe he loved others, but not as much me. And maybe I was the one he forgot. But when I went on the journey with God, oh my gosh, like I have these moments of just like pure like connection, right? It's got nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with anything. I think that religion really grounded God into my life, but you can find God anywhere on the earth. Whatever you come from, whatever your beliefs are, anyone can find a connection to the creator, right? Ziona Rowan says, I found God without being raised religious. Anyone can. Because the thing is, he created us. He's always around. It's the thing that we forget, right? I think that we forget that he's always around. He's always near us. And I forgot that. So when I say that I came back in a really stronger, deeper, more connected way, in a way that really, really changed me. It changed, like, my journey with God has been the thing that's changed me the most. The medical medium was a huge part of it. It really helped me to come back. And I'm so grateful for that. Like, it really, like, it just, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have the strength I do without God. And I know that he feels everything that I do in my life. He feels my children, my life, my family. He's in us. Like, he's my work every day, every single day. And if I told you, I can't share some of the beautiful miracles that have happened today. Miracles have happened today in my life that only God could have done. You know it in your bones that only God could have created that. Like, it has to be some higher power, because, like, who am I? I'm just a piddly little human working hard, trying to do the best that we can. But it's God and his hand in our lives that, like, when I connected back into that, like, there's just nothing greater than that. There's nothing greater. And I love everything God has created with a passion. I love the earth. I love humans. I love our animals. I love our plants. You know, I love, and I want to do, like, you know, what I realized in my life, that I made a choice eventually. I wanted to do God's will. I said, God gave me free will, but I want to devote my life to doing God's will, because that's the only way that I felt that connection so strong, is when I pray and I said, I'm here, God, to do thy will. I'm here to do thy will. Please use me to do thy will. Like, whatever it is, what do you need me to do, God? What do I need to do today? Who do I need to help? Who do I need to reach out to? Who do we need to raise money for? Who do we need to help with their health? Who do we need to give extra support to? Who's struggling? Who really needs it today? Like, it's my daily prayer, right? In a daily prayer, please help me do God's will. And if I don't do God's will, please help guide me to find my way back to God's will, because that's what I'm here for. And that's my journey. Like, I'm sharing, oh my God, that's such a personal journey for me, my journey with God. And there's no greater thing in my life. No greater thing is my journey with God. It's the greatest thing that I have. And, you know, Lana says, surrender to God's will. That's when our life transforms. It's so true. It's a total transformation. And Lala Lindsay says, I really want to have this connection with God. I feel so disconnected because of the heavy metals. It's true. The metals are designed to disconnect you from God. The metals are designed. I feel like the cleaner I've gotten, the more strong my connection has become. And I can feel it viscerally in my body. Viscerally in my body. This connection that just strengthens and strengthens and strengthens. I think it's just amazing. It just, and I think more people need to talk about having this beautiful connection with God and the beauty of this journey, because so many people are so burned by religion and burned by, they feel like God didn't take care of them, God didn't look out for them, or God hurt them, or God punished them. And oh my gosh, it's like darkness trying to turn us away from God. And they do that beautifully. It happened to me. And I just look back on my life and I think, oh my God, like all these moments where I wasn't so tuned into God. And so to me, I will never stop taking care of my body. I will never stop getting rid of these metals from my brain, because I want to be closer to God. And that's the biggest reason for me to do it. It's the biggest reason, because the more I'm connected to God and that God-given intuition comes through. Can you imagine if like one person just totally lights up and is more connected? Can you imagine if like millions of us become more connected and more connected to God? I mean, like, what would change in the world if that happened to us, right? It would be just unbelievable. And it's happening. Like, look at all of you. Look at all of us changing our faith, changing, you know, not our faith, but like changing our bodies. And it does change our faith in a way, right? When you heal your body, something inside you about your faith changes. It's happened to me. It's happened to me so many times, and I can't ignore it. It's like a real thing. And my biggest reason, I could say that my biggest reason is my children, but my biggest reason is God, because God gave me my children, right? And this type of talk is what we need to like connect into more, because it is connecting directly to the light. Let's just lift our spirits up and not be pulled into like darkness. Is always trying to like like imagine this, how heavy this is. This is like, imagine it's like an anchor, and darkness is always like boom, 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 right? It's trying to pull you down, and God is lifting you up. God is lifting you up. God's pulling you up. God's lifting the darkness off of you. Like, it is unreal what God does for us. It's unreal. It's unreal. And I'm not religious in that sense. I'm not speaking from a religious place. I'm saying every single human has a connection to a power, right? Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're inspired to keep exploring your own intuitive journey, because I believe that your intuition is directly connected to God. And so if you believe that you're intuitive, which many of you believe that you're intuitive, just explore that. Build up your intuition. Just like take it up a notch, take it up a level. Just like the next step of, maximizing the human potential that God gave to us to be. And darkness, all they're doing is just breaking down our potential, breaking down our potential, breaking down our potential. And we're like, wait, no, lift that darkness, lift that darkness, lift that darkness, lift that darkness, so I can rise up and fulfill my potential, because that's what we're here for, right? That's what we're here. And I love you guys. I'm going to go, but I could talk all night on this topic. I mean, I can talk about God. It's the best topic in the world to me. And I can talk about it. Like, I could never stop talking about it. So I love you guys, and pray that you have a beautiful night. Pray that everyone's hearts are filled with light and they are lighthearted, and that the talk from earlier today didn't pull anyone down. And hopefully just, keep a light heart, keep smiling, keep being beautiful, keep shining your light, as they say, shine your light. But like, just allow yourself to remember that you are freaking awesome. And he says in the Brain book, he's like, every single one is born. Every single human has in high intelligence. You're highly intelligent, highly gifted. And that's what you're here to unlock, because that is your connection to God, your direct connection. And that is just awesome. All right, guys. Bye. Have a beautiful night.